Welcome, everybody. We're back with another episode of Frontera Radio. I am your host, Sergio Mora, and we have Rick Laurel with us today. He's a candidate for District 6. Rick Laurel, I'm sure you've seen his picture everywhere by now. He's all over North Laredo, and it's his second time that he's running for City Council District 6, which is one of the big ones.
It is.
If not the biggest, right?
Yeah, well, population-wise, everything's set by the, by the districting. So, but it is the biggest in terms of expansion.
Yeah, it's growing.
It's expansion to the north. So, I mean, thank God we're not landlocked. We have everywhere to grow north and northeast.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of expansion already on the horizon, with a lot more to come,
Well, I mean, you have the areas that are outside of the loop, northeast of the loop, which I mean, I rarely go over there, but the times I've been there, it's another city.
Every time I go, I get lost because there's new residences, new neighborhoods, new everything. I mean, that's really where everything's growing, eastward off of Del Mar, which it's coming up in the near future.
That's true,
with the coves.
That's right.
San Isidro northeast, out by International and United High School, and that's just booming and blowing up. There's a new gas station there. There's supposed to be a new PF Chang's coming.
I've heard that.
I've heard
decades,
that,
man.
but I hope we see it because I really like that place. I had also heard there's Lowe's, maybe.
Oh, really?
Second Lowe's. So it's growing, and there's a lot of there's residential, there's commercial, there's everything. Everything's out there.
Do you have the Alexander area, like
South
the
of
Bartlett?
No. South of Del Mar is District 5.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, south of Del Mar is District 5. North of Del Mar is District 6. This redistricting it took a chunk out of District 6 on the south side, which is where Del Mar B, Del Mar A and Del Mar B is.
I see.
Where the United Middle, Kruger Field. So the new district line runs from 35 International to McPherson.
Okay.
And then McPherson down to Del Mar. And then east to Del Mar.
So
it cut out.
Like St. Patrick's Church area, all that?
In front of it, yes. So where the firefighter station is, that's no longer District 6.
Oh, okay.
That was moved over to District 7.
District 7 is Vanessa's.
Vanessa, yeah. You know how she had up to Rangel Park, District 7?
Yeah.
So now they expanded that east all the way to McPherson.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So she has all of Del Mar up to McPherson pretty much.
Yeah. So that shows you how much it's growing in San Isidro, because the population up there is what recoups that population.
Well, yeah, you have, and I could see it from where I live. You have all the Antlers Crossing and all that area that is like booming.
We lost one precinct 343.
Okay.
There was a lot of people in that precinct.
Man, well, it's probably no, because I was gonna say it's the fastest growing, but I mean there's areas of the city that are growing just as fast now.
Right. So the redistricting takes care of that, just to make sure that we all have equal amount of residents and constituents there.
Hey, Rick, and so it's your second time. It's your second time running for District 6, and the incumbent Marta Martinez decided not to run, and so it became an open seat. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the same faces that took a stab at it 4 years ago are back again.
There's three of us. There's three of us from last time. Thank God there's not as many as last time. Last time there was 11.
Okay.
I ended up short in third.
That's right.
So hopefully this time, we'll get there. This time there are 5. There was 6 when somebody backed out. Now there's 5 of us. Of those 5, 3 of us are from the last race.
Matias de Llano was the one that
jumped in the last second, and then due to some issues, conflicts that he has, he had to back out.
He had to back out.
Yeah, with conflicts with work.
Oh, I see.
So it was, he's a good guy. I know him, and I'm glad that he's,
out.
that there's not as many. I mean, you don't want to, as somebody that's already running and has put their full force into something like this. You see more people add on, and it's like, oh gosh, we just have to work that much harder. But it's got to keep on trucking there.
Well, I mean, even then, you have strong candidates. You have the top three last time was Marte, Vish, yourself.
Right.
I think Rafa Dueñas was fourth.
Fourth.
He's in the race again.
Yes.
Dr. Tyler King, he's a newcomer who's mounting a pretty good campaign. Who am I missing?
Baldasso,
Fernando Baldasso. He's also a newcomer. He's no stranger to the political scene, but he's the first time that he's running, and
right.
You're also seeing his name all over the place. So some good candidates there. So tell me what running for District 6 entails on a day-by-day basis, especially these last 2 months, which is considered go time. Like after Labor Day is okay. It's the final stretch, the 2 months, the important months. So what are your days like?
So this is a very different race than last time. Last time it was an open seat.
Okay, yeah.
So
I mean, this time it is again.
Well, yeah, but we didn't know that.
Okay.
We didn't know that. Last time we knew the year before the election that it was going to be an open seat. So we were campaigning. I was campaigning since September of the previous year. So my campaign lasted about 14 months.
Okay.
Last time.
Damn.
This time, we didn't know that the seat was going to be open until late June, early July, like a month and a half ago.
And Marte didn't really make a public announcement.
No.
He sort of let it be known.
No, he didn't. So that's when more people started scrambling because it's an open seat. More people were going to run, but thank goodness that it was now there's only 5.
Yeah.
So it's a very different campaign. It's a blitz.
Yeah.
Basically, we had 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks before the first day to file was when I guess everybody found out that Marta was not going to run.
Yeah.
So it's a very different race. Like by this time, I had already announced, in January, I had already raised X amount of money. So, this time we have right now we're at 60 days until election day.
November 8th.
Yes.
Well, I mean, even less for early voting.
Early voting is much less. Yeah,
2 weeks.
Deduct 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we have 6 weeks until early voting starts. So you have to pivot from what I knew last time. Last time we had a whole calendar to work with. This time we have days and weeks to work with. So we had to pick and choose the events that we want to do, the fundraisers that we want to do, and strategically place them within these 8 weeks. Everything's gone great. We had an announcement, and it was really good. It was well attended. I'm getting great feedback from all sorts of people. People in the industry, business people that have known me and have seen me grow up here in Laredo. So I think that's one thing that distinguishes me from some of the other candidates. Like I have people that I see that knew me when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s and growing up, and now as a father, and now as a grandfather.
You're a grandfather.
I am a grandfather. So,
congratulations.
Thank you. So, I'm proud of the fact that I'm of the 5 that are here. I'm one of the only ones that can say that.
Deep roots in the community.
I do have deep roots. The Laureles have been here forever. Laurel has been known for business people, business minded, community people, and I take pride in that.
You are in the trucking business.
No,
right?
I am a licensed customs broker.
Oh, you're a licensed
so
okay.
In the import export
in that field,
industry. So trucking is in that industry, but I am a licensed customs broker. I've been a licensed customs broker for 12 years. I've been in international trade for over 22. So I started very young. So I run a multi-million-dollar business. We were just talking about how, I have liberties of running a business and having enough time to be able to do this. Thank goodness I have a great company that I work for.
You manage the operations of a company that's not based.
That's not
the
based.
Headquarters are not here.
Headquarters are not based.
But you
here.
manage the operation.
Right. So
here,
we have two locations, one here and one in Miami that I'm responsible for. Over 50 people. So I know what budgets are. I understand what working with people are. I understand what having a good working environment means.
Yeah.
And it's very important to have that. I mean, I have people that work for me that have been there for 18 years, 15 years, and that speaks to the type of environment that you have. When you have a place that has a lot of turnover, well, that shows you that it's not a comfortable place to work or that I'm not a comfortable person to work with. But that's the complete opposite. So I'm very happy with what I do and where I work and the team that I've been able to build, and I hope that has helped me understand how to mesh that into the city when I get elected.
Well, you're it sounds like you're a happy family man, grandfather. Yes. You have grandkids.
Yes, yeah. My family is very important to me. My wife has been very supportive in everything that I've done. And when I told her that we were, hey, guess what, we're
doing this again. How did that fly?
How did that fly? We had already talked about it, and we had already said, hey, you know what, like it's not time yet. Yeah. Next time, maybe. But when I saw who was running and I saw the issues at the city, I said, I can do better than those guys. Hey, I think I'm a better candidate than those guys. So I threw my hat in the ring, and here we are.
I mean, okay, your grandfather. And your wife, she runs her own business as well, yes, right? Your family is very.
So GH Pools, which is my father-in-law's business, has been in Laredo for 33 years. Yeah. He started it from his garage, and now he has So he has a location there in the heart of District 6 on Shiloh, right in front of Variety Meats.
I live right there, and now you have your headquarters there. So there's a life-size
poster
of you that I have to see every day now.
Well, I'm glad you're going to be able to wake up and see my mug every morning.
Yeah, I'm fortunate, I guess. Yeah. But okay.
So yeah, they run their business. Have been 33 years, and they employ people and have been part of the community and are staple of District 6, for a long time now.
So you have all this going on, businesses, family man, grandkids. Why in the world would you want to take this on, especially considering the dysfunction and the allegations of toxic environment and all the controversy that surrounds city government recently? I mean, what made you decide 4 years ago and then today that I need to get in there?
Well, that's exactly why I got in there. I saw the landscape of who's running. I saw the landscape of the issues that the city has at hand. And a lot of people are looking at issues that we have now. I mean, the way to look at it is what issues are we coming up with in the next 15, 20 years that we're going to impact. And I think that this election is very pivotal. I mean, we have issues of morale at the city. Yeah. I just mentioned that we're really good at the office of doing things for employees, of having a good environment, and I think that hopefully can rub off in the city.
Good leadership.
Good leadership.
Okay.
So I see the candidates that we're running. Some of them I don't know, but I know what I bring to the table, and I know that I can make District 6 a better district, and Laredo a better city, just by working together with the other council members. There are a lot of issues that are coming up. There are, issues with our water. You're going to need to have an upcoming city council that works together, that's unified. And I think I bring that to the table. I think I can work with everybody. I know some of the people up there on council, and I think I can work well with them, and to be able to to move the city in the right direction.
You brought up water.
Yeah.
That I from what I've heard recently, there's two aspects of the water issue. One obviously is the issue of the aging infrastructure and how that has caused problems, namely water boil notices all the time. The city, especially the southern half of the city, undergoes frequent water boil notices that last days, weeks even, and just a huge inconvenience that just doesn't seem fair considering the high water rates that the citizens pay, the high taxes, the high salaries that they pay to city employees. You recently had an issue where during the last water boil notice, the upper management blamed it on the lower level employees, basically scapegoating him. He filed a lawsuit. The court ruled that he was unjustly let go. And that's just one of the latest dramas. So what are your thoughts on that? And secondly, we just underwent record drought. The city of Monterrey basically ran out of water finally. There were
the whole region got some
water, but Zapata also was worried about running out of water. And as these extreme weather events get more frequent and more intense, there's always been talk about Laredo needing a secondary water source.
It was brought up on Tuesday's meeting.
Okay, these last few months have really put it into sharp relief in that. Okay, this is no longer a long-term project, which is harder to convince people to get on board when you're not feeling the effects as much as now. Everybody's like, wow, man, we might be running out of water. What are your thoughts on those two different but ultimately same topics?
Yeah, it is the same topic, and it's a little cobweb there that. So to talk about the employees and who got the scapegoat and stuff like that, I mean that shows poor leadership. And we've had how many city managers, man,
like
in the last 8 years.
I mean, I've heard that there's been some that we didn't even know about. They just got in there in between others.
So I know what my responsibilities are once I get in. I am there to set policy. I'm not there to micromanage the city manager. The city manager's job is to manage the departments.
Yeah.
And if you get a good city manager, then everything will trickle down. That's the way I feel. If everything trickles down from the top, if you have somebody bad at the top, it'll trickle down to the bottom.
Yeah.
If you have somebody good at the top, it'll trickle down to the bottom as well. So picking a new city manager, which is going to be the new council's responsibility, is going to be extremely important.
Probably
extremely important.
Probably the biggest decision you guys make.
And it's going to be the very first decision we make. Looking at all the different candidates, local, outside, everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me, they say, hey, how come you didn't put your picture on some of your signs? I said, well, I want people to know me for the name and to know me for my resume, not for my picture. So I'm like that when it comes to hiring people. It's like, I don't want to know
qualifications.
I want to know their qualifications.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't care if they're from Laredo. I don't care if they're from out of town, out of country, or whatever. I want to see qualifications, and I want to see the best qualified person get the job.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope to do. So that's one side of it. The other side is we have a deteriorating water system in parts of our city, in the older parts of the city. Thank God District 6 is newer, but we have to help our brothers and sisters down in the south and the areas that are in older part of the town. Mm-hmm. So we had a chance to do that. I think it was about 8 or 12 years ago, and they decided not to work on the infrastructure and decided to make the Pico plant.
Yes.
So we have a facility that's not up to 100%, par. Have a deteriorating infrastructure in parts of the city. So now we have to pivot our resources and our funds and our manpower and everything and start moving everything towards that. Now, Tuesday's city council meeting was about secondary water source and how we have until roughly about 18 to 20 years of water left for us to use. We can't wait another 15 to make decisions because it's going to take that long just to develop whatever plan we come up with now.
Of course.
Secondary water source is not close by. Secondary water source is counties away.
It would involve like laying down
piping
and drilling and
and laying down the pipe and drilling is probably the easiest part. Mm-hmm. The right of ways, the properties. That's right. That's the hardest part. That takes years and years to get. So, it was talked about, somebody brought it up of trucking in water or railing in water. I was like, I don't think they grasp the idea of magnitude. How much water we use. 35 million gallons a day.
Whoa, man. That I had never thought about.
35 million gallons a day means if you're going to bring it in by rail, you're going to have a train from here to Dallas every day to offload. And that's number one. Number two, we don't have storage facilities for water. Yeah. Since we take our water from the river, it's live. It's live.
You don't need
it's a live take. Yeah, we don't need the storage. Other cities have aquifers that they take from. We take from the river. So we don't have the luxury of having storage. We can't. Imagine the size of the place that you need to store, not 35 million. You need a place to store over 100 million gallons of water.
Which is like 4 days.
Which is less than a week.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important that that this city council is made up of people that understand the situation, and not only people that understand the situation, but that can work together to get the job done. You asked about the people that were running in our race, and we have some controversial people in our race, and unfortunately they're controversial because this is going to take somebody that works well with others and that others can go to and ask for advice or bounce ideas off of, and I think that I'm a person that's easily very approachable and very easy to talk to. So not only with constituents that can reach me whenever they have issues, but also other council members are going to have to talk to District 6's council seat to work together to get all these things taken care of. So infrastructure, water infrastructure, city manager, future water source, those three right there are key. Huge. And so this next election is to me the most important election for Laredo since the Tangelo.
I agree with you. And you talk about working together and you talk about wanting to have the proper procedures followed when you hire a city manager. The city manager search, as you know, they've been a sham the last few times in that they knew who they were picking and they weren't necessarily the right qualifications. And it brings me back to this point in that it makes sense if all of the council members had the same interests in mind when making decisions on city council, which means hiring the best people, doing what the city needs at the time. But in my opinion, there are multiple people whose interests don't coincide with those and who will not want necessarily the most qualified, but will want the one that they can manipulate, they can micromanage. And it seems that the last few ones, a deal has been cut in that you do what we want and we hire you, and if you don't, we fire you.
And unfortunately, that's why they don't last.
Well, of course, obviously.
That's why they don't last.
And then you get into the issue of the $600,000 golden parachute.
Right. So, I see it. I see that as a it's me, not we attitude right now.
Yeah.
And we need to change that. We need to change it to we, not me. It's we work together. We get the job done. Not I, not me. It hasn't been like that in a while. And I think that it's very, I can't reiterate how important this election is.
I agree. I think that we have a tremendous opportunity to get the right amount, the right number of people to finally outnumber the self-interested, self-dealing
half the city
that
council,
are in.
Right? So half the city council is being replaced.
Half of it, correct.
Right? And the mayor. So there's 5 people that are being replaced. That's a lot of people that are going to be new faces that are going to have to work with the people that are already there.
Yeah.
So, there's District 1, District 2. I think it's 3 and 6, and the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2,
Isn't
3.
it? Okay, it's 3.
Yeah, Merck's.
Okay.
Yeah. And District 6. So, working together, we can get these things done. I mean, we also have a congressional race. We also have the governor's race, which is going to be, also very important. So there's going to be a good turnout of voters, I think, in this election.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
There's no doubt, although it's not a presidential election, but it's very important, extremely important for local, regional, and federal.
So you commit to a transparent, by the book city manager selection process?
I commit, and I completely transparent. I say, give me just the qualifications. I don't want to know name, race, sex, where they're from. I don't want to know anything. I just want to see their work experience. Give me a resume where you blank out everybody's names, and you just give me their body of resume. And that's what I'm going to base my judgment on, because I don't want to know if this is Juan or John or Brenda or I don't care. I want the best person for that job.
And obviously for the rest of the positions is up and down.
For the rest of the positions up and down. I mean, I'm not a micromanager. So we have to make sure that we select that person and that person is going to bring in the same mentality that we are. Because they have to trickle down economics type of thing, They have to make sure that their employees are, number one, up to par with what they need to have all the tools to succeed.
Yeah.
Maybe certain departments don't have it. Maybe they're missing trainings. Maybe they're missing certifications. Maybe city employees need more from city management, or need more from the city, period. We don't know that right now because it's a little bit, in shambles. So we need to get somebody that knows how to manage, that knows how to take care of that many people, and that can understand key performance indicators that they need to develop within their different departments to make sure that their people have all the tools to succeed.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, quality of life issues. Laredo obviously has been growing by leaps and bounds, as your district can attest to that. We used to be a big destination for out of town shoppers, for tourism. That sort of dissipated over the last couple of decades. There's a lot of conversation about this proposed binational park that the city is working with federal officials and with officials in Mexico at the local, state, and federal over there. The ambassador, Ken Salazar, is very involved in it. But then you have a lot of critics in the city that said, you know what, with all the problems we're facing, that should come secondary. That needs to wait. And then there's people that say, but you need to have a balance between quality of life and infrastructure and those basic government services. What are your views on that and quality of life in general, parks, you name it?
So a lot of people, so the new sports complex is part of that. And a lot of people are, well, wait a minute, you have issues with your water and this and that. We cannot stop quality of life development or any development because of any other issues. Monies are allocated, monies can only be spent on certain things, then do it. At the same time, you have to have somebody in office that has the capacity to fix the issues and also help grow the city at the same time. You cannot stop expansion. You cannot stop development. You cannot stop improving quality of life because of your water issues. You have to keep on going. You have to be able to hire a city manager that can do both. You're going to have a city manager that's going to have one department that's flourishing and developing and another department that needs help. So what are they supposed to do? Everybody stopped what they're doing and developing and moving forward because one of the departments is hurting? No, we have to be able to do both. We have to be able to be strong enough to do both. If not, we'll never grow because we have some things we kick the can down the road that we have to catch up to now.
Yeah.
So sports complex, that's huge. They've worked on that for way too long. It takes too long to get stuff developed here. I mean, we have to be able to work things quicker, to move things faster. It's a city and it's a county effort, and you know I'm impressed with the coming together of both of everybody on council also to be able to do that. The binational park it's very early stages, so there's a lot of what ifs and a lot of questions and who's going to pay for it type of questions also. It's very early. I know that Congressman Cuellar just earmarked $2 million for studies for that park. If it benefits the city and the city is it's going to be developed with federal funds, I don't, let's take a look at it. There's no issues with looking at possibilities of expansion. You have to make sure that your new projects fall in line with your budget. And who's going to pay for it? Is the federal government going to pay for it? Is Laredo going to have to pay for it? Are we going to have to, how much? Can we afford it? It's a business. The city of Laredo is a business. You have to look at it. Can we afford it? Can we not afford it? What do our debits look like? What do our credits look like? What our ratings are? Everything. So it's a humongous business here, that we have to make sure that we take care of it.
You're mentioning this. You have a lot of experience already with the city in terms of serving on committees and things of that nature. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So after the last election and after the primaries, Dr. Marta Martinez came to me and asked me to serve on one of the boards that he wanted to appoint me to, and I was part of the CVB board, the Conventions and Visitors Bureau board. I was there for about 2 years, and then was asked to move to the Parks and Rec board. So I currently sit on the Parks and Rec board. I was happy to hear that I didn't have to resign on the Parks and Rec board when I decided to run, because it's an advisory board, not a decision-making board. So I've been there with J.J. Gomez and Anita Stanley and those people, and the CVB board people were great. So I understand the inner workings of how boards, reports to the council members, and council members make their decisions based off of what the boards bring to them, and ideas and proposals and things of that nature. So I'm not foreign to city management and how it works, the inner workings of the hierarchy. So I understand it well, and it's been great. It's the city of Laredo has good employees. We just have to bring out the best in them, and we have to do that from the top.
You've been out block walking, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What are you hearing from the citizens? I mean, you have probably some really good conversations with random strangers that you
A lot of, I mean, I don't know everybody, but the people that I've run into, the biggest concerns are exactly what we're talking about. Why are we having so many water boils? Why do we have so many city managers? Why are we spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on these golden parachutes? I've heard the word ratas. I've heard
Rata de dos patas.
Sí, o sea, you know, it's sometimes it's very sad what I hear. It is people say pa que voto? Why do I need a vote? It's going to be the same. It's cynicism. They're very pessimistic of the city's state of mind right now. State of affairs. And I hope that by the end of our conversation that I have with them, they get a little bit of breath of fresh air and
hope,
a light and a hope that shines, and that they can see that there's somebody out there that's gonna be their voice. And I want them to understand that if I'm elected, I will be that voice.
There's a lot of frustration.
A lot of frustration because I think it's because we're here because we love Laredo, because something keeps us here, and it's family. It's a very family-oriented city. So we all know the possibility of what Laredo can be, of what Laredo should be. So it's frustration that I have. That's why I'm running.
And what Laredo has been in terms of what we've lost. And I mean, it brings me back to, like, for example, the brain drain and young people just leaving and never looking back. How do you fix that?
Yes, exactly. So you have to, I mean, our biggest industry is import-export. It's the industry that I work.
Well, I mean, it's an industry that if you don't work in government, if you don't work in the school districts,
you work in import-export.
You work in import-export. It's our bread and butter. It's our driver. We're pretty much a one industry town. Everything else services.
That's the problem.
The people that work in that industry,
and that's the problem.
Yeah,
we are very unilateral. We're very one-dimensional. We have to. I'm in that industry, and it's a great industry, and I live off of that industry.
Bless them.
But why don't we have other industries? Why don't we have medical? Why don't we have other industries here in Laredo that flourish and that bring, instead of a brain drain, bring people to move here, to add to that brain trust, right? So that is another facet that City Council has to also see. And with issues, I think you get tunnel vision to where the point of we have to focus on this and only this. Yeah. And there are departments now that help fix that. You know, Laredo Economic Development Foundation. There's new positions within the city of Laredo Economics Development. So they're doing their job. When they bring projects to City Council, we have to make sure that we offer something that is up to par, if not better, than the Valley. Because that's really our competition.
Yeah.
We can't compete with San Antonio. San Antonio is 5 times bigger than we are. We can't compete with the Valley. We can't keep up with the Valley. The Valley is diverse. Yes, there's import-export, but there's also a medical school.
Yeah.
There's also hospitals,
agriculture.
They're diverse. So why does somebody who gets sick here have to go to San Antonio? Why do kids who have cancer have to go to Houston? Why? Like, there should be something here for them. And you know, initially when I ran last time, and it still spills up into this time, is I don't want my kids to want to leave Laredo. When they graduate and they go to college, I want them to come back. I did.
Yeah.
I graduated from United High School. I left. I went to El Paso. I went to UT El Paso. Eventually, I got my education. I raised a family, and I moved back to Laredo because of familia.
Yeah.
That's what brings you back to Laredo, because Laredo is Laredo's where the heart is when you're from here. People from out of town, I guess, don't understand that, but everybody that's here understands it, and I'm very proud of being a Laredo.
So tell me, what are your plans? Well, first of all, we when we come back to the hiring of department heads and things of that nature, you have a lot of people that are from out of town that get passed over, higher qualified people, and a lot of the argument is no, we have to pick local, and of course, if the person locally deserves it, then by all means.
By all means.
But when the fact that a person is local gives the local person an advantage over somebody from out of town that could have moved here, brought his family, highly educated, highly qualified, and enriched the community.
Yes.
I mean, I think that it's myopic to not be open to that. And I think that we've had that a lot. And a lot of people, when the conversations and the debates about the city manager positions being open, the justification for picking the crony that they had in mind originally is like, well, we have to go with a local guy, you know? Like, yeah, we have to. I mean, we have to. Obviously, if they're the best qualified, you know, yeah. But I mean, everybody knew. No, we know what you really want.
And getting them here is a hard job. Keeping them here,
of course,
is even harder, because we also have to make sure that once we hire a department head, that we are up to par with other cities in the same department. We recently lost our airport director, really good guy.
Yeah.
And he left because of a better opportunity.
Okay.
And why didn't we retain that talent?
How about the city attorneys that keep resigning and just...
Everybody is in the same boat. Everybody's in the same boat. You know, the city attorney's position has been one in question here lately, and I think we finally have somebody there that's a really good person. Not saying that the one before was not, but it has everything to do with the quality of your working environment. And again, I go back to having a good city manager and a good working environment, and trusting that person that they're going to hire the correct people, because it's basically their responsibility to put the city attorney there, and the city assistant managers, and all the different positions. You have to, when you're hiring that position, that city manager, you're entrusting him with how many departments, Sergio? Of course. How many department heads? How many employees? I mean, it's the biggest. If you look at it on a business side, it's the biggest business in the city.
Of course, yeah.
It's the biggest budget. Right? Budget. It's enormous.
What do you? Mayor Pete Science recently posted a Facebook post proposing. I don't know if it's an ordinance or something that would sort of penalize city council members for interfering in the job of the city manager. Would you support something like that?
I don't see how you can do that unless you have somebody that blows a whistleblower. I mean, I'm all for city council not dipping into city management.
Staying out of the kitchen.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Know what your job is. Everybody do your job, and everybody in Laredo should thrive. Policy. City council is there to set policy. I'm not there to talk to the development department for X, Y, or Z. I'm not there to talk to the traffic, to the police. I'm not there to talk to any of them.
Like it's like an example. Ex council members there. He's friends with ex developer. Ex developer comes to the council, says, "I need you to rezone this. I need you to do this for me." The council member tells the building director or whatever, "Hey, do this."
No, that's completely not. That's not right.
Well, I mean, that's what's happened.
What's happening
for a long time.
What's happening and maybe what should happen are two different things. There's a process of rezoning. You have to go to planning and zoning to get that done. They are a decision-making board. City council doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Planning and zoning does. So there's processes that people need to understand are in place. They've always been in place. And if they're not enforced by the upper levels, then that's when you have a breakdown in the system.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I need you to rezone this, I'm like, I don't have the power to rezone anything. Go to the planning and zoning.
Yeah.
Go, get a number, get a ticket, get your case seen, plead your case, and have them rezone it. Yeah, it works with every different department. I mean, I can only propose plans to pave the areas of my cities or to fix things in my department, in my district, but I can't doing special favors like that. It shouldn't be done.
Well, and I mean, a lot of those favors are repaid. One way or the other.
That's why they're called favors, I guess.
Well, that's putting.
I don't want to owe anybody anything. That's the worst part, because then that means that you're the puppet.
Well, that's also putting your personal political interests ahead of the interests of the city, because you hire these city managers, these department heads that are eminently qualified, supposedly. By eminently qualified, I mean they studied to be city managers, to be building directors, to be all these things. Degrees, they get paid in the six figures, $200,000-$300,000, because they know how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there, and council members that did not study to manage cities, have no idea how it's supposed to be done, have no idea, don't take into considerations how everything fits in larger picture stuff.
Right.
They're looking out after their interests. They're like, I want this done because my buddy wants it done.
You'll go back to the me, not we.
Yeah. And so you have basically people, city council members, that don't have the qualifications or the education or the experience, telling people that do how to do their job, who to hire, who to fire, who to promote, who to give this to, who to give that to. And if that happens over decades, I mean, I think end up with the problems that we have right now.
Of course. The wonderful thing of this country is that anybody can run for office.
Yeah.
It's the voters' job to pick the best candidate.
Of course.
Not the person that I know, not the person that I owe, not the person that compadre, not the primo, not the this.
Yeah.
And I have people that say, hey, this guy's my cousin, but I know that he's not the best candidate. And that's the mentality that Laredans should have. Pick the best candidate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you I think that, and I always say that the citizens are shareholders in this business.
Of course.
Because they all own it. The citizens are the ones that choose
definitely
the board of directors, which would be the equivalent of the city council. And the city council, the board of directors chooses the CEO.
The CEO.
Which is the chief executive, which is how companies are
we are one
run.
Big company.
Exactly. So, I mean, for the citizens to say, I'm going to pick el que me cae bien, or the guy I know, the guy I grew up with, went to go to church with, instead of the most qualified, well, you're going to end up with what we have.
And District 6 is a very educated group of people. You can't, una carne asada no va a cambiar nada, you know. So it's been easy, I guess, to be able to present to them who I am and what I am, because I can see how similar we are. The people in the district are business oriented, well educated, family. You know, they want to see things done right. They want the city to flourish. They don't mind voting for the best person over what we just talked about. Yeah. They're the ones who pick the best candidate. They're the ones who are very conscientious of what's going on in local and in state and in federal affairs and politics.
Well, you've been in and around business your whole life, and it would be preposterous to make the decisions that are made in the city to run
On a whim?
to run a business.
Oh,
It
of
wouldn't
course.
it wouldn't make any sense. You'd be setting yourself up for failure if you
Right.
decided to hire some dude's cousin
Oh.
instead of the most qualified person for the job. I mean,
And sometimes it's just blatantly obvious.
oh, they don't make any
Right.
effort to hide it.
Yeah.
It's because people don't pay attention, number one, and second, the cynicism, and they just whatever, man.
Yeah.
But I think we're on the hopefully just by
On
the
the right
number of
path.
deaths, just by the amount that I think that the citizens are frustrated and they want change and they're
Yes.
worried about the kind of city that their children are going to grow up in
grandchildren.
and grandchildren, and just the amount of good people that are running, and I obviously we're friends. We go back way back, and I consider you one of those good people. There's a lot of there's a number
Thank
of
you.
other good people in District 6 that I also think are of the same mindset as yours, and I think that there are candidates in the other races that are of that same mindset. And when people say that's the way it is, I mean, you know what I hear, man? I hear like, well, there's corruption everywhere. Like sort of a real defeatist
That's ni modo.
attitude.
That's
Yeah.
a ni modo
Like,
attitude.
yeah, no le muevas.
No.
And I'm like, no, man, because I know enough people that don't think like that,
Yes.
that are interested in these positions, that if enough of them get in there, I think that the city can take a dramatic, good turn.
Yes.
And I think that's up for election.
And you know,
this time.
I saw that recently. I sat down with a group of veterans and had breakfast with them, and I thought I was gonna get veteran issues thrown at me,
Yeah.
or questions and stuff, and I didn't. You know what the number one gripe was?
What?
We don't like that people say that the best thing that happens to Laredo is I-35 North to get the hell out of here.
Oh yeah.
They're, you know, I was very happy to hear that it was not a veteran issue, but an issue with the pride of their city,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
because
big.
that to me shows that there are a lot of people out there that think about we and not me.
Yeah.
So that to me shows that if a group like that can put aside their common beliefs of, hey, of veteran affairs, that everybody can do that, right?
Yeah.
And everybody can do that, and everybody can come together and work together as a city, as a district, as a neighborhood, as a block, you know, to better wherever it is that you're at.
Yeah.
So it gave me a lot of hope. I left that veterans off meeting with a fresh breath of air in my lungs, and I was like, wow, like
like energized.
yes, this
you
is
know?
where we're going. Like this is the future.
This is
great.
what we're doing.
Yeah. So it every time I talk to a group like that, and every time that I block walk, that I get positive vibes, and I get, you know, it's just reinvigorating. And it helps me keep on going to the next house, to the next street, to the next neighborhood. And hopefully I reach enough people in District 6 that they get to meet me and we can talk. I'm open. My Facebook page has my phone number and my email, so anybody can text me, call me, any issues, and it'll stay like that if I get elected. It'll stay like that, and it'll be open issues that I'll listen to anybody or everybody, because it's their right.
Of course.
You know,
They're the stakeholders.
they are. They're the
shareholders,
stakeholders
yeah.
that are gonna vote for me to represent them.
That's right.
And I will do them justice when I get elected.
That's right. We're here with candidate for District 6, Rick Laurel, who's giving a great interview. We're running out of time here, Rick. I'm just gonna mention a few of our sponsors, and
definitely.
then we'll wrap it up. First
And congratulations on your new place.
oh man,
by the way,
thank you, man.
it's nice.
It's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
but I'm liking where it's going.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna put some nice velvet curtains here in the back.
Yeah.
And give it a cooler look. For that, that's the aesthetic part. First was the
sound and video and stuff. Well, that's the more important part, right?
Yeah, exactly. And elections were upon us, so it was like, we gotta get this going. But that's gonna be the next step, making the backgrounds a little bit nicer.
Good.
I have to do something about that light thing in the back.
Switch?
Yeah, which you're covering it, and I think I have a good angle of people covering it.
It's just because I have a big head.
No, actually, the other candidates as well have covered it. I got the right angle, but they did complain. They're like, man, do something about that. I mean, yeah, it is.
What do you mean other candidates? You're not doing this just for me?
There's some other candidates that
I'm joking.
I have a long list of people that want to get out of here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's been good so far, man. I want to keep up that pace.
Yes.
A lot of people.
And talk to everybody, man.
Yeah.
Everybody. Don't put anybody aside just because
of course
of other, we don't know who they are. We want to hear from everybody. Let the people of Laredo listen to everybody and decide of the best candidate, and let the best candidate win.
That's correct. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our good friend at Mendoza Maintenance Group, Javier Cuate Mendoza. He good friend of the show.
He ran for District 6.
He ran for District 6 last time, and he's still very involved in politics. He has his company, Mendoza Maintenance Group. One of your opponents, Vish Vishwanath, a candidate for City Council District 6. He's a small business owner who has taken a stand on various issues facing the city. He will prioritize our water needs, keep our taxes in check, take a strong stance against corruption, and will get citizens involved in the decision-making process, want different results, make a different choice. That's Vish Vishwanath, another one of our sponsors. Our good friend Rene Benavides, former city attorney. He does personal injury, criminal law, and immigration work. If you need a good attorney, Rene Benavides, get in contact with him. And another one of our sponsors, also an attorney. There's a lot of attorneys.
A lot of them.
That would be our friend George Altgelt. He is Laredo's premier criminal defense firm. The Altgelt Law Office relies not only on its years of experience and proven results, but also makes use of cutting-edge forensic scientists and its team of private investigators to defend your freedom. I know George personally, and he has always fought to keep the government honest and to protect the rights of citizens. That's what he did when he was a prosecutor, when he was an elected official, and that's what he will do for you or your loved one. That's George Altgeld, and that's about it for our sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring our show, please send us a message. We have low rates, and you will, like, everybody will be knocking down your door. Everybody watches this show, so it's a great investment. Rick, let's shut this down. We're at an hour, and I've been trying to keep it. Yeah. I've been trying to keep it under an hour.
Yeah.
We're right at that point. So let's wrap it up. Just give us your final thoughts on your race for City Council District 6.
So I am a family man. I am a product of Laredo. I am running for City Council for District 6 to better not only the district but the city. I hope that in November you have your civic duty and you do your civic duty and go out and vote. And I hope you vote for Rick Laurel. I am a businessman, a family man. I've been in Laredo all my life, and I want this place to be a better place for me and my family and my generations to come. We have a lot of very, very important and pending issues that are coming upon us that will, unfortunately, decide our fate, Laredo's fate for the next 25, 50 years. And I want to be able to be your voice and your vote on City Council. So I know that I can do the good job. I can do the best job possible. I believe I am the best candidate. If not, I would not have run. I have a lot of support, a lot of family support, a lot of businesses that are coming out and understanding what my voice means and what I have to offer the city. So I want you to really think about who you're voting for this time, and not vote for the compadre or the primo or the anybody that might be close to you, but vote for the best candidate. And I believe I am the best candidate for District 6.
Thank you very much, Rick, on that great closing. That about does it for this episode. Tomorrow we are going to have Vanessa Perez, Councilwoman Vanessa Perez, and the Clean Air Coalition. She's been very active in taking action against that sterilization plant that's been emitting, I can't even pronounce the chemical.
EO is what it's called.
Ethyl oxide or something like that.
Short for, EO for short.
Yeah, but it raises the risk of cancer, and it's been spewing this stuff out over in her district for a long time. And ProPublica, which is this network of journalists, this nonprofit, very very well, highly regarded organization, and the Texas Tribune, another nonprofit, very well regarded news organization, picked up the scent of that and did a great investigation. Like, it's getting awards and stuff. That investigation.
I do believe that there's a lot of investigation into that project.
Yeah,
EPA is coming down.
The EPA, they're having a big meeting apparently next week. The EPA and stuff. So it's a big issue, and she's been very instrumental. Her and the Rio Grande International Study Center, always at the forefront of all those environmental issues. They're going to be presenting here. They're going to be talking about the issue and talking about their upcoming meeting. So you don't want to miss that. And then next week, we have, just off the bat, we have Judge Becky Palomo.
Oh, good.
Who's running for the 4th Court of Appeals.
Right. Have you seen the size of that district?
It's humongous, man.
It's like all Southwest Texas.
It's like a bigger than a congressional district.
Way bigger.
I mean,
there's probably 15 congressional districts in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's a great opportunity for Laredo to have a judge on that court. We already have Patricia Alvarez on there, and Laredo obviously would be well benefited by having another good representative from Laredo. So she'll be here to talk about that. And Melissa Cigarroa, which is a candidate for District 3, if I'm not mistaken. And that's also an open seat because Mark is running for mayor.
Right.
I've known Melissa for a long time. Great person. Very involved with risk and the issues that it spearheads. She's involved with the Clean Air Coalition as well. She's always been fighting for stuff here in the city, and she decided to take a run for council, and we're going to be having her next week as well. And just a bunch of others that have expressed interest, I'm very happy to say. We'll be talking to them as well.
Good.
So like our page, share our page, press invite friends on our Facebook page, and just invite all your friends. Share the videos. We're getting them up on YouTube and Spotify podcasts, Apple and Google Podcasts as well. So help us out. We really want this to grow. We're on the right track, but we need your help. So please help us out. Rick,
thank you.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time, Sergio. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you, everybody. On behalf of Frontera Radio, God bless you and have a good night.